Rosie Gordon Wallace. Welcome to the Global African Stage.
Thank you so much. I am so delighted to be here to watch you, to experience, to look at this gaze of this young lady that I met in the government bowels. Remember?
Yes, I do.
What are you doing here? Where you come from? You know? So
I made it out.
I am happy to be here with you.
Thank you
really
so
proud.
much.
Yeah.
So I have been an admirer of yours since I was in college. I remember reading New Times, which is a local publication here in South Florida, and there was something about the Diaspora Vibe Gallery. And for whatever reason, probably because I didn't have a car, I didn't go. And some years later, I went to an event at the Bakehouse Art Complex, and the event was outside, and you could walk through. And I walked in, and boop, there was Diaspora Vibe, and I was so excited, like, oh, I finally get a chance to see this. And for whatever reason, I didn't know that there was a black woman running it. And I was
That hasn't changed. I'm still black.
And I was just like floored. I remember that the work was, while I don't remember the artist's name, it was Carnival Art. And I
Ryan Wong Wong.
Okay.
From Trinidad and Tobago.
Yes.
1999.
Wow.
Yeah.
And I remember the Twin Towers.
Yes. Danny Ramirez. From Cuba.
Yes.
The Twin Towers before we had the Twin Towers.
Yes.
Because you and I know that our artists are our storytellers.
Mm-hmm.
And they tell stories from their dreams.
Yes.
And they're forecasters, they're warners, they're spiritualists.
Yes.
And that's why we have to pay attention.
Yes.
You know, because they're not doing ordinary work.
Right.
They're doing sometimes forecasting.
Exactly.
And that particular double Twin Towers with the people jumping from the two towers. And just to let you know, the Twin Towers were eaten by termites. I have to tell this. I've never told this story.
No.
We don't have the Twin Towers. They were eaten by termites to the ground. Danny went into his warehouse at the bakehouse, and there was a pile of rubbish. Florida termites don't joke. They will eat you out of house and land.
Yes.
And so, but that was certainly, I would say 3 years before our tragedy that has changed our lives completely.
Wow.
So, you know, I pay attention. I really try to, yeah.
And since you were in that small space at the bakehouse, you blew up to this woman who travels internationally doing residencies.
Say that again, it sounds so good, but it's not quite true.
Yes, you did. You blew
No,
up.
humbly.
I follow you on Facebook, and I always see pictures. I'm in Suriname, I'm in Jamaica, I'm in the Bahamas. You travel everywhere.
But you know, you're saying me, but the me is a village. The me, you know, I am the face, I am the founder of Diaspora Vibe, Cultural Arts Incubator. But in truth and in fact, it is sacrificial work by you, meaning you, the community, the friends, the supporters that give us funding. Miami-Dade Cultural Affairs is our local funder for those international exchanges.
Yes.
And people who every now and again I will get a check. They just send you because they believe in the work. So, you know, the mission hasn't changed. We still believe that you have to nurture. You know, when you're underserved and under-resourced, nurturing is a very great part of it, which is why not having a space, a brick and mortar space, throws off some other isms that I didn't know was going to happen, you know? The virtual space has allowed me to expand and have a global imprint, but the sense of community, the sense of belonging, the sense of safety that you would feel when you would come in and just look for me in an afternoon and we would drink a little tea. We won't talk about the rum. And you tell me and you share the thing. We don't have that space anymore. And I'm hoping that we haven't lost the space. Mythical space. Because Caribbean artists of color, the ones who can't change, whose melanin can't change, we need to feel that there's a space for us. Because usually when you're knocking on the door for a space, someone has to answer. But when it's your space, you can turn the key. And that's what I miss about the space. But the virtual space has been, you know, I think we are pioneers again in that. in that it came to a crossroads of making a decision. And when I spoke to Craig Robbins, he was our landlord, and facing all of the challenges that we were facing in 2011, that everybody faced, not just us. I said, the work has to continue. How can we do it? And the virtual world, the virtual realm, and being older, I had to open up to the possibilities of what that was, and I love it. I love Twitter. I love Facebook. I have to be careful how I go on Facebook, because I know how people get in trouble. Because you go on and you feel, I watch you too, I read you. And then you feel so vulnerable, because you go on when you're melancholy, and all of a sudden you start saying, the sky is so gray. You talk about the sadness. And so I go on and come off. But Twitter gives me immediate satisfaction. And I'm able to also intellectually follow other people and retweet them. So I just think it's fabulous. It's just fabulous. So.
And that's the perfect word for you, pioneer, because you really did. So you now have the virtual gallery. So where are you going next? You have a fantastic roster of artists that are they're loyal to you, because you are Mama Rosie. You take care of them. So where are you taking your babies? What's next for you?
Well, some of the babies have grown and flown the coop, which is a good thing, because if we're an incubator space, and incubation means for me that you can come and go. You sometimes even the rooster needs to come back home to get cut. But our board of directors, our chairperson is Dr. Marva McLean. We are now engaging with Andy Warhol Foundation to do strategic planning, do the board foundation development that our organization needs to give us a solid foundation to move forward. It's scary, because that in analyzing, not only the good things come up, but the things that need to change come up as well. So that's where we are now. But in terms of the roster of artists, the artists are encouraged to dream. I mean, I am not afraid of experimental work. And one of the things that I love is when they say, I have a project for you. So we have to find the resources, and we also have to do the things we were talking about before we did the show, making the imprints in the chair, so that I can call. If I knew Oprah, I would be calling her and saying, Oprah, we have this wonderful lady named Melissa in Miami doing this beautiful, fabulous Sugarcane show. Hook her up. And that's what we're trying to do. We're really trying to make sure that the relationships get like this across the globe. And so when you're ready to go to Nigeria, when you're going to Jamaica, I can give you names, cell phone numbers, and keys, so that you can open relationships to make your business better. That's what I'm proudest of. That after 17 years, this is our 17th year. After doing this work for so long, we now have a global internet of relationships, artists, friends, and family.
Isn't that fantastic?
I'm telling you, I'm not boasting, but we can't be homeless. Why are you going to be homeless? Homelessness is not even a place that we have psychologically, and everybody should be in that place. Because it means that the network will take you there. Have we done everything right? No. But we're doing it. Our intention is to continue to do the work, and the errors that we have made, the trees that were broken without purpose, we're hoping that we can go back and either fix them or watch them sprout on their own. But it has been, I'm telling you, it has been a ride. It has been a real ride.
And because of your fantastic work, you have been honored, my dear.
Thank you.
And tell us about the honor.
The honor that I am going to talk about first and foremost is the one that we just got from In the Company of Women. Something happened with that award. First of all, it is a gender. And years ago, I was on the Commission on the Status of Women. And the issues that we don't talk about in our black neighborhoods, the issues of abortion, the issues of religion, and how it sometimes cripples us and doesn't make us fly. The issues of parenting and honoring our fathers and our mothers, regardless of how raggedy we think they are. Those are basic issues. And so when women honor you, I think that all of these narratives come to bear.
Yes.
And so that's the most recent tap on the shoulder that said we appreciate the work.
Yes.
And I always want to say, we were saying in Jamaica, the higher monkey climb, the more his bottom show.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to be humble when you're climbing up.
Mm-hmm.
And for me, this is not about me. Yes, I feel good when we get the awards. Yes, I feel good when we get the recognition, because if you're doing the work, you want to be validated.
Right.
But I always want to be in a place where I thank all of the friends and the family and the artists who allow us to get to these spaces. So that's the one most recent that has been really palpable in helping me to be encouraged to do the work, because it's not always easy, that.
Yeah, no,
it's not easy, it's not easy. So yeah.
You have persevered and you've done so well.
I love it.
Yes.
I think that the reason that you smile from such a deep place is that you're not doing a 9 to 5.
Yes.
And no disrespect to people who do 9 to 5.
Right.
What I'm saying is, when you find your purpose, your 9 to 5 becomes 9 to 12,
Yes.
12 to 3, 3 to 5.
From 9 to 9.
9 to 9.
Yes.
And those hours are almost like extra octane gas to you. That's how I feel,
Yes.
And I'm hoping that our good Creator will allow us to truly realize the purpose of why we're doing this work. I can't think of anything else I would rather do. So perhaps this is my purpose.
Yes.
And if I live long enough, like my mom, she was 93, it means therefore that I have a couple more years to do the work.
Yes.
And I'm hoping that we can continue to do it in a real purposeful manner.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
So what can we expect of you next? Do you have any shows coming up?
Oh, absolutely. We have two really important residencies. We talked about the residencies before. Sharon Bridgeforth is a shaman, a black shaman, who is coming to do a project called River Sea. In each town that she does the residency, she's authoring a play around the river. And then we have another artist in residence sponsored by the National Performance Network, and her name is Selena Roman. She just graduated with her master's in photography, fine arts in photography, and she's looking at the burqa and what happens with you under the burqa.
Yes.
What happens to the woman under the burqa? Is there power? Is there sex? Is there love? Is there family? How are you transformed? So she has these. I was one of the ladies under the burqa, and I must share with you, I felt so powerful. I didn't feel intimidated. I didn't feel weak. When I put that stuff on and nobody knew you're under there,
Wow.
I mean, it's power. So you see it and feel it in a different light. And so she's going to do a residency around Miami and do some community work. So that's happening in June and July. And then we have the rest of the year to finish our experiences. And then lastly, for around Art Basel, we're hoping that our collaboration with the Kellogg Foundation and Tides Foundation, we will be able to bring Gloria Rolando, who is a Afro-Cuban filmmaker living in Cuba, who does work around the 1912 massacre of 3,000 black men in Santa Clara, Cuba. And the work is finished. I mean, they were a part of the Negro Foundation, Negro Party, and they were squashed. So she has looked at that in the film, and we would like to bring her back and show her for Art Basel. And then, you have to plan for 2014 and then 2015, It just goes on, Thank you.
And before we go, you have a fellowship that you awarded. Tell us about that. Yes, we have to big you up because international. We're so proud of you.
Oh, thank you so much. The fellowship is the National Institute for Leaders, and I think there are 20 other leaders, and we're going to Portland, Oregon, for a full week, 8 full days, to look at leadership, define what it is, pick up some new skill sets. I want to learn from my colleagues, the cohorts around the country, because I am looking at succession now and hoping that I can excite and invite and attract someone like yourself to step up for the leadership and say that this is an organization that would like to run because we have left it in good state. So that's coming up in, what month are we now? May? I think I go for the leadership training in June. And just try to keep busy and hope that the work that we continue to do finds purpose. We want artists to become architects of their own lives, so that the dreams that they have can be retranslated into work that they do, regardless of the medium, so that they can become our true storytellers.
Mama Rosie, thank you for being
here. Thank you, baby. I'm so proud of you. Thanks for having me. Thank you. Thanks.
You've grown so much. I saw you on CNN, and you're doing so many different projects, and I'm here tonight for Fotokonbit. Tell me about the project.
Well, 3 years ago after the earthquake, a group of 3 of us, photographers and artists, decided that we wanted to help in Haiti after the earthquake. But we're not doctors, we're not first responders, so we thought, what can we do well? And that's photography and education. So we decided to found this organization so that we can see Haiti through the eyes of Haitians, so that it's not always just an outsider's perspective, because a lot of that kind of what someone called disaster porn, something horrible happens and people go and all we see is death and destruction. We were really interested in seeing what do the Haitians, see day to day? What would they show us if they had the camera? Yeah.
So after you put together the project, did you start with a particular city, a particular area, or?
Yeah, so we worked in Port-au-Prince. We worked in some of the tent communities after the earthquake. We also worked in more rural areas, so we worked in Fotokonbit in the south. We worked in Jacmel as well in the south.
Okay.
Haitian, Labadie, which is this beautiful, idyllic kind of tourist resort, small little fishing village. We also went to Haitian, the Citadel.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so we've traveled. We're all over the country now.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
And the reception has been
excellent, great. I mean, for the Haitians that participate, they're learning new skills. We teach not only children but also adults. So we provide vocational training for people, which in many cases gives them opportunities to earn a living, shoot baptisms, weddings, this kind of thing. And then for the kids, it's a nice release. It's creative expression. It's fun. It's a lot of fun.
Okay. And so is it like a school? Is there a registration process, or how does it
So
work?
we operate an after-school program in a community called Zolange, which is right outside of Port-au-Prince.
Okay.
That's one side of what we do. And then the other side is a workshop format. So we work with a group of different students in different cities. So sometimes we partner with other organizations to find people to do the workshops with. But once they're with us, they're with us. So we don't just go once, we always go back 2 and 3 times so that people actually get the training in photography.
Fantastic. And then it culminates in a huge, fantastic art show like tonight.
Just like tonight, exactly. So it's part of our mission to show their work to the largest possible audience. So tonight we're at Mocha and we're showcasing the work of several of our students.
Fantastic.
Yes.
So exciting.
Yes.
And you have a lot of exciting things on your plate. So, like I said, I saw you on CNN. You're working with the One Drop Project with Dr. Yaba Blade.
Yes.
Tell me about that.
That's been an amazing project. She found me because I was originally a participant in the project and she was looking for a photographer. So I thought, this sounds like it would be really an interesting project to do. So we collaborated on it and it's been an amazing journey. We shot over 50 individuals.
Wow.
So the book will be coming out in the fall.
Okay.
Yes, so I'm putting finishing touches on the photographer's note. All the biographies have been written up. She's written her piece and it's going to be all set to go here pretty soon.
Love it. So exciting. And so we can expect that in the fall. And then will there be any other pieces that go with it? Sort of, will she speaking tour? Will you be accompanying her?
Yes. I probably won't be accompanying her. She's really the brain behind the operation and I'm kind of like the eyes.
Okay.
So she will be doing a speaking tour, and she has been, and I think the reception has been really strong. Colorism is a big deal, and it affects people, in really strong ways. And so the ability to have these conversations in public settings has been great. I think the results have been really great, and that's what the exhibit does too. It really makes you question, what is blackness?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So we've seen all these exciting projects. You're graduating soon.
Yes, I'll be getting my MFA from Parsons in New York in August. So, and my thesis work is on Mali, West Africa. So I made the trip up to Timbuktu. Took 30 days to do that right before the government fell. And
Wow.
it was one of those, you just make it home in time. But the work is great. I shot film, very traditional, color and black and white film. So I'm excited for that too.
And so there'll be exhibition. Do you know the dates?
In New York, it opens on August 21st.
Okay.
At Parsons, which is right near Union Square.
Okay.
So for your listeners that are in New York, please come to the opening.
Yes, absolutely.
Yes.
We'll make sure that we have the information box of everything that they need to know to make sure that they attend. Thank you so much for being here with us.
Thank you for having me. Thank you for
Definitely a
coming
pleasure.
tonight. Yes. Bye. Bye. Give me a hug.